Test 17, Ricky. Okay. Here we go. The Falcon Heavy. This is parts from a SpaceX mod. There's two of them that I know of. There is the Kerbal X SpaceX, and then there's the other one. Forgive me for me not remembering what the name is, but the other one is the one I'm using. This one is just for me trying both of them. This one is far superior. I mean, it's not even close. The this thing has some mighty engines on it, where the other one they need a lot more tweaks to that engine, even though it's got plenty of power. It doesn't have very much plume on it. It just looks kind of anemic, even though the thrust is there. This one is just put together a lot better. Now, this particular craft was actually included with the mod. It was just the stock Falcon Heavy craft. So this is what I started out with, and I modified the holy crap out of it with many flights to get this thing to fly the way I wanted it to. And the stock version has no payload in it, so it's just empty. So I put a payload in it, a payload to go to the moon. To show you how big that fairing is, I have a whole Apollo command service module, command module, and LEM inside this fairing. The command module is from Blue Dog, the LEM is from FASA, command service module is from Blue Dog. When it comes to the LEM, the FASA LEM is the only one I'll fly. It's just that much better for me than the Blue Dog one. And forget about the DLC version of the MEM. This is not even, it's not even in the same league as the FASA LEM. So that's what I'll be using for this trip. Now, I will not be attempting to recover the boosters. Even though the landing legs are on there, the grid fins are not. I left them off. I'm not going to attempt to recover these anyway. That is way beyond my skill set at this current time. I can't even begin, even understand how it's being done. Plus, I had a long chat at the flight center with the Kerbals, and they absolutely, under no circumstances, forbid me to even make an attempt. And they said for me to even be allowed to fly this thing, I have to swear under oath that I will not attempt to recover the boosters. So that's the promise I made, and it's a big weight off my shoulders, to be honest with you, because like I said, that's beyond this flight. Now, like I said, I had to make many modifications to this, and the fuel, the thrust. Kind of a neat little thing here that's included in this stock craft is a little refueler. A little refueler slash launch tower. So that's kind of cool. I just left it in there because I thought it looked cool. You know, the guy who made that put a lot of effort in building that thing, so I was just going to say, you know, it looks pretty cool to me. I'm just going to leave you there. Now, when I take off with this thing, it's going to be super loud, so I'm going to try to turn the volume up all the way through the boosters. We're going to a 200-kilometer orbit, and with a lot of excuse me, with a lot of tweaking on how I like to fly, as far as the separations, the staging, all that, I got this thing to fly pretty well. Pretty well for me. So let's get this thing going. I had to try this again because I can already see that I have the game volume down too low. And I have to give a little justice to the sound of this launch, so I'm going to redo it real quick. And turn the volume up how it should be. Alright, let's try this again. There you can see how big that fairing was on the craft that I put in there. Next time we're going to go to Minmus. This is the Merlin vacuum engine. Yeah, going to Minmus is a little bit different. Whenever I go to the moon, I always get an encounter right off the bat. But with Minmus, most of the time I don't. I have like once or twice. I think it's all about the timing. Or me not knowing what I'm doing. Could be a very real possibility here. We're going to do a little fine tune. This is our correction burn. See, now we got our encounter. So what I'm going to do before I get to my encounter, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my third stage before we get any closer. I'm going to really hope that I don't run into this guy right now. Okay, there she is. First thing we're going to do is set our inclination. No, I didn't need much of a inclination change. We're going to do just like we do at the moon. We're going to go 30 kilometers. This is a different engine I'm using on this trip. This is a KW engine. This is not the normal Blue Dog. Blue Dog has their own command service module engine, and so does the Fasimod. I went a little bit different this time. I went with the KW. It's got a little different plume, a little different sound, a little different thrust. This one's actually a little more immediate. Alright, let's take a look. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and circularize. That's a little bit more than I like right there. So I'm going to do a little... I'm going to try to get the apoapsis down to match the periapsis. We're going to leave her right there. And we're going to make another burn. Well, that didn't help us a whole hell of a lot, did it? It took me from, about 6 to about 4. There's my lone piece of space junk. See, I should have taken her, I should have spun her around before I started my burns, and then that separator would have went into the Minmus. Let's see what we got. Let's go to base 4. Okay, close enough. Don't want it exact. I'm using the same lamb that I would use to go to the moon. Whoa, there goes that separator. And holy moly, dude. Whoa, that was a little bit closer than I like right there. Wow. Oh, what I was saying was, this is the same lamb that I would use to go to the moon, and going to Minmus takes far less power and far less fuel. Minmus looks kind of cool. I wish that they would have made it as big as Minmus. In fact, I wish they would have made it even bigger than Minmus. Give you a little bit more of a sense of an adventure, because when you come to orbit it looks so damn small. So I like the landscape. Just would have liked it to have been about 5 times bigger. So you can see how much fuel I got. Excuse me. Way more than I need for both the ascent and the descent. That's pretty close. Touchdown Minmus. Well, I just forgot a big component of this mission. My dumbass is not paying attention. Before I separated from the command module, I forgot to put the kerbals in here. What a dumbass. So I came down here with no kerbals. I was gonna take a kerbal out, plant flag. What a dumbass. Now, the reason I was even able to do this is because I have this mechjeb module on here. And I put that on there because when I separate from the limb, when I go back up to the mothership, if I want to control him and do maybe one burn, send him into the moon, I don't have to have a kerbal in there because I have the mechjeb module. So now I'm glad I put that on there because I wouldn't have had any control after I would have separated without that module on there. So man, now I can't do shit. I can't get out and walk around. There's another limb from a previous visit. There's another one out there. And here's my one of my bases. This is a relatively small one. Take a look at them a little bit. There's my other descent stage of the limb. There's the flag. There we go. There's the station. Relatively small one. Oh. See, I saw that message earlier. About overheating. I was wondering what that message was. I have two reactors on here, and I have these radiators to dissipate heat, and then I have a couple solars also, so I have a little bit of both. There's some more radiators. So normally I go with either one or the other. This time I added a little bit of both. I can't quite figure out why that reactor shut down. That must have been that message I got. That was weird. Anyway, on this base, you can see I have two fully armed limbs on their own, fully functional. Meaning I could transfer the kerbal to this guy and I could just blast off from him if I wanted to. Got the descent stage and the ascent stage, the whole thing. And I have two of them. So that was a kind of a cool little, you know, when I was making this base, that was a little something different that I hadn't tried before. Now I used HyperEdit to get this base up here. You know, I built this thing in the spaceplane hangar complete, and then used this mod to get it up here. That's the only way you could get this up here. I mean, just to show you how complex this, even though this base is little, it's pretty complex. Because like I said, it has two fully made landers. Meaning there's a lot of different missions I'll fly up here where I'll have one of these dedicated landers, like maybe in place of the limb that I've just used this time. So this one I've flown up here already before. Of course not on this mission because it's still in there, but so when I built this thing in the spaceplane hangar, you know, I had to build both of these guys. So they're not there just for looks. They're fully functional if I wanted to use them. So there's where this mod really comes in handy for me to be able to do stuff like that. I like this base so well. I made like two different versions of it. One bigger, you know, I extended this out, and another one bigger still. So I have three different ones, both with dual landers, and some with. See, this only has two Kerbal compartments. I believe they each hold like 6 or so. In fact, here's how many I got in there right now. So I only have 4 in there right now. But I can put a lot more in there if I want for later on missions. But that's, to be honest with you, this is one of my favorite bases, just because I think it just looks cool as hell. Okay, back to my lander. Did I stupidly forgot to put Kerbals in? I can't believe I did that. So instead of one Kerbal in the mothership like it's supposed to be, I got 3 of them in there, and they're probably all sitting there looking at each other like, what the hell did this just do? No wonder we wouldn't let him try to land one of the Falcon stages. Look what that dumbass just did. He went and left us up here. Alright. Let's go ahead and get her ready for liftoff. We'll set it at 30 kilometers high. Let's go back into the map and see. In fact, let me first rename this guy. Wow. I'm like in some weird plains right here. Let's go ahead and spin him around a little bit. in a little bit. Whoa, I went past. I'm just messing this mission up all the hell. And of course, because of less gravity, he's going to get up there a lot faster than he would be from the moon. There he is. There's my separator up there. I'm gonna get up to this guy pretty quick. Well, not as quick as I thought. Alright, 3 Kerbals sitting up there. Go and do it. Okay, coming into view of my cameras. I don't even know why I'm bothering with all this right here. The damn limb doesn't have any Kerbals in it. Normally the only thing I'd be really docking him with is to transfer the Kerbals back into the command module. So I'm kind of just going through the motions. Now I'm going to do the mission. I might as well do the whole docking thing and everything. Different things I can do here afterwards is after well, normally I would be taking the Kerbals back out of the limb, putting them in the command service module, but I fucked that all up. But after that, I would either undock, send him, just leave him in orbit around Minmus, or I could do one more burn in the limb to send him on a crashing onto the moon, or I could just take him back to Earth with me and then just decouple him in the atmosphere and let him burn up. Actually, there's another option I could do. I could take this whole craft up to the space station, because I have a space station orbiting Minmus. Sometimes I'll do that. Just mix it up a little bit, do different things. Sometimes I'll just take him up to the space station, leave him there, and just deal with him on a, another mission. So there we are. Nobody to transfer, because that's normally what I do. These guys are all mad as hell. Because I sent a craft down to the moon without those two guys. They're going, what the hell did we come all this way for, you dumbass? Okay, so now what to do? Yeah, I think I'm just gonna undock the guy. See, this is what I would normally do after transferring him back. Just let him continue his orbit. There he is. Say bye-bye. Sometimes I have to do that. Sometimes the fuel gauge will disappear. Alright, let's go ahead and quick save. Now we're coming back on our free return trajectory to Earth. You can see I can already tell my plane. Look at my plane. Holy man, oh man, oh man. I am cattywampus big time. Alright, so let's fix that real quick. And you can see my other craft. I'll be getting rid of him later, the one we ditched. See, he's on a permanent orbit. I'm going to change our periapsis since we're kind of all wongos every which way. We're going to put her back to about 100 kilometers. Plane is still out of whack. Let's see if we can do that again. Well, we can change it a little bit. This was a sloppy mission. If I wasn't so far across the video, I would have just chucked this and started it again. But hell, you always got some kinks during the missions anyway, so I'm just gonna leave it. Okay, let's get an idea where I want to land. I think I'm going to warp him around a little bit more.
0 up to all of the follow by their email. Now 0 up to all of the follow by their email. Lekker meenem. Maar zij zoeken dat is net een fiasco dat ze daar. Ja, ze dat vooral hebben genomen. Yes, hebben genomen. Wat jouw ngels voor wie dat weer bij jongens. Anders zijn wij.
Okay, we're starting our re-entry. Hope I don't land in the mountains in some slope or something where I destroy myself.
Nee, er is nog karfmaat niet uitscheren wat is het? Nee, ja, het is vijf naar vet joken, ik heb
That guy just winked out, man. I didn't get no detonation or nothing from that guy. Sloppy, sloppy. I didn't like that one at all. Shaking my head, signing out. Later, dudes.